everyone. Okay, so we have moved to a more permanent location here in San Francisco, which we're very excited about. I actually have lighting. I don't just have my trusty, whitewashed, glaring whiteboard behind us. We're getting better. So I want to talk today, but do a thought exercise on prices at the pumps. Super hot topic, for lack of a better term, people were freaking out about it. Rightly so. It's like gas prices at the pumps were hitting a record high. So I'm going to do a thought exercise, just some proxy correlations. I know they're not mathematically correct. They're just a way for us to think about if we were to increase volumetric throughput on existing oil and gas infrastructure in North America, how that could impact prices on the pumps, right? So we're just going to do a theoretical example, very aware that prices at the pumps are much more complex than this, but let's think about it this way. Okay, so I just grabbed a year, 2021, and what was the consumption at that time? It was 19.78 million barrels per day in the USA alone. That is a huge number, right? So then what I wanted to do is I wanted to take if we were able to get 4% more volumetric throughput above and beyond that, how would that decrease prices at the pumps? So then I looked up another period in time where oil and gas consumption in the US was about 4% less. So just to get a reference point, right? Like a proxy. So 4% less is about 18.98 million barrels per day. So we had a Google, looked it up. It was a little weird to look at. So instead I looked up this chart, which I found, the 18.87 million barrels per day. I'm like, okay, that's close enough. So if we look at what is the price difference with with that kind of spread. So let's just imagine if we had that much more volumetric throughput on top of the 2021 number, what would that result in as a decrease in price at the pumps? So we looked up our super trusty USA all grades, all formulations gasoline chart, and I looked at 2021 and I looked at 2017. So prices in 2021, $3.2 per gallon. Prices in 2017, $2.52 per gallon. So that price difference is 48 cents per gallon. So let's just assume then that the difference 4% let's just assume that the difference of 4% additional volumetric throughput would get us a savings of 48 cents per gallon. We'll disclaimer this again. These are just assumptions and proxies for us to do a thought exercise. So what would that mean for your average consumer in July 2021? 2022. In July 2022, that would mean, at the very peak oil and gas price of $4.76 a gallon, that would mean that your price at the pumps would have been $4.19 a gallon. Still over $4, that's a lot, but if you think of your single parent driving your 2.5 kids to school, that's a meaningful impact, right? And that's something we need to be thinking about. So the point that I'm trying to get at here is with our existing infrastructure, and taking into account that there's less investment going into building new oil and gas infrastructure, let's increase the utilization of these assets by something as small as 4% can have a meaningful impact in consumers' lives at the pump. The way to do that, of course, because we always love the shameless plug, is automation. So if we can automate, your control room operators are the ones that are effectively managing the utilization of these assets, and they're shooting for your maximum every single time. But if we give them tools that they can get another 4% through the existing assets, assuming for that decline in investment in oil and gas infrastructure, we're gonna see some meaningful price reductions at the pumps, right? So I think that's something that we all want to do, and I think it's something we all should be doing. So I hope that thought exercise was at least interesting for folks. Okay, thanks, and don't forget to, if you enjoyed the video, please do subscribe, give us a follow on LinkedIn. Shoot me a note directly if you've got any questions. Of course, would love to chat more about automation and increasing the utilization of our existing oil and gas assets.